So, context before we get started here. I have never owned one of these or taken one of these apart, so this will be a learning experience as I go along. So my first project is I'm going to start working on this more here. Got this one here kind of in a state of started to disrepair. I'm going to start working in on this one here, getting it broke down as much as I can here. Okay, so I'm going to start taking this apart. So the first thing I'm going to do is get these bolts out of here to get this wiring and the throttle cable out of the way. And then we'll see about getting these bolts out that hold the gas tank in. Okay, so I got the fuel tank out. There is a shutoff under the tank that will come through that hole, but it needs to be kind of lined up just right. Next, I'm going to take these bolts off to get this side panel off, and then I'm going to see if I can get these fuel tank straps out. Looks like there's one screw here holding this choke cable in. I think I might have to take the choke out. I'll see if taking that screw out will give me enough room to get these gas tank straps by here or not. So after looking at it, yeah, my fault here. This side here, the flat will come through, and I will be able to get this out here, then going this way. Yeah. So I'll get that other one out, and then we'll see where we're going next. So next up, I'm going to take this side panel off. I'm going to take this off. I'm guessing this might have been to adjust the chute for a snowblower, because this does have the front pulley on it. So we'll get to that next. Okay, so next up, we got this screw here, which is pretty damaged. I'm going to have to grind that off to get this throttle cable out, and then I'll work on that roll pin and get that out for the steering wheel, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so I got that screw ground off, and we got the steering wheel out. There's a lock collar there that is seized right now, so I got some oil on that. And then I'm going to get the ignition key and the amp meter out of the way here next. Okay, I'm getting a bit ahead of myself here. Got the amp gauge and the ignition switch out. Now I'm getting the hydrostatic stuff off here. I'm going to take this lever apart, and then we'll see where to go from here. So I've got that loose. I think what I'm going to try to do here is, let's see if I can get light down in here. So I think I'm going to take the bolt out of that knuckle in that U-joint, and then see if I can get that steering, if that will come up through these holes here then. Okay, so there's a small snap ring. It'll focus. It sits right in there, so now I'll see if I can get this steering shaft up through here. So that C-clip, that got the steering wheel to come up, so now I'm going to see about getting the wiring for the safety switch to come back up through everything here now. See how that goes. I don't know how trucky that'll be to get that to fish through there. Okay, so I can't get this plug to come through here, so I'm going to take these bolts loose to see if this will come up a little bit, and then give me enough room to get that forward there. Okay, I got my safety switch wiring through. That come through up through here, these two holes. I've got the bolts out of this. I think I got to take this. There's a spring here that is hooked onto this. It's double nutted then. There should be one on the other side. And then I think we'll see what I can do, if this will come loose or if there's more to get this to move a little bit. So I've got this nut off. That bolt on the other side was a cut off one, but anyway, this was double nutted for the spring here for the brake return, clutch return. So now I'm going to see if I can get this here to lift up and see if there's anything else I might be connected to here. So before I can get this out, there's one bolt here in the PTO assembly switch here. I'll have to get this out, and then I'll be able to get this up all the way. I think it's safe to say I think the mice have been living in here for a while. So I'll try to get this here all vacuumed out and see where we go next for getting this piece off. Okay, I got that cleaned out the best that I could. I'm gonna still do a little bit more here once I get this off. I think next I'm gonna take the bolts out for the voltage regulator, and then I'll maybe get these few stray bolts loose here and see what's left. I still have a set screw down there on that pulley that I got to get out, and then the bolts that hold the pump in. But I'll get the voltage regulator off next, and we'll go from there. Okay, this is just a little note for myself. There is a ground wire coming from the voltage regulator over to here, so I'll get that, and that should be loose then. Okay, so that's done. So next up, I'm going to try to get this set screw out. That might be the end of my day. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so pulley came loose pretty easy. So now we'll get these 3 pump bolts out. I don't have enough clearance right now to get the pulley off. I'm hitting the flywheel here, so I'm going to loosen those bolts. That should give me enough room to get that pulley out of there. And I guess then we'll see where we're going from there. Okay, got the pump bolts loose. There's some bolts on the bottom of that holding that to the frame. I'll get to that next, and I think then this battery and fuel tank piece should come out. So there's that out. I think now I'm going to try to vacuum some more. There's just so much down in here yet. I'll try to get a lot of this vacuumed out here yet, and I think that's probably going to be it for me for the night then.